Hello everyone, my name is Dijan and welcome back to another video here on the channel. As you might notice, I sound a bit different. I have literally got a new mic about 10 minutes ago, so I'm trying it out for the first time. It is a bit funky, but I think it's working quite alright. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of the new audio. I'll try to fine tune it in the future. I'm even fine tuning it during the recording, but I want to get this video out as soon as possible because F1 22 is coming very quickly. Anyways, back to this race. It's the final race of this season around Abu Dhabi, season 6 of RSF1 Division 3, and it has been an amazing season to say the least, and I hope we can finish it off with a banger of a race. Last time out in Saudi Arabia we got a very surprise podium. We got P3. To this day I still don't know how I managed to do that. So hopefully we can keep the pace up and convert this race into another podium or even a win. Let's get into it. So here we are now in Q1, and it was quite a rough session to say the least. We are starting our first flying lap here at the start of the session, and you will see in a bit why it was such a rough session. Going into turn 1, you know, quite alright. I quite like this track. I have quite some decent pace, but the setup was just not working. As you can see, as we go through turn 3, we lose the rear and we spin out, and actually in a bit you will see we will invalidate this and next lap. It's a thing in the game I just don't understand. So we had to go back to the pits as we let the Ferrari ride. There you can see this and next lap invalidated. I don't understand why. But we go back to the pits, we strap on a new set, no, not a new set, just to refuel the car. And now we go again with just under 9 minutes to go in this session. So hopefully we can keep the car straight this time. Going on the exit of turn 1 we lose a bunch of time. And again through turns 2 and 3 the car gets very loose and we lose the rear once again. And we spin again. So we have to go back to the pits again. And this time we do strap on a new set of tires, and we actually changed the setup last minute. We lowered the wings from 9.8 to 7.8 to balance the car out a little bit better, get a more stable car. And we go out once again to try and set a valid lap time here in the session, because we haven't set a valid lap time just yet, and there's just 4 minutes to go, so we can have 2 laps and that's it, and we can't mess up. So we exit the pits in this beautiful tunnel here in Abu Dhabi. It's one of the most interesting and beautiful pit lanes on the calendar in my opinion. But here we go now. This is going to be one of our final attempts to get out of Q1 here in Abu Dhabi. Despite having great pace in practice, I'm struggling to get out, but through the fast section here, turns 2 and 3, we do not lose the rear, so I guess the setup change has helped. And as we make it to the end of the session, we are a few 12 seconds up on our delta. Obviously not a representative delta, but as we come across the line, where is it going to be? It is going to be P6 with a 36.1, if I read that correctly. And I knew I could go faster, so I tried to go faster actually. And as you can see, as we skip to the end of my final lap, we do invalidate, but it's at 35.5. So I know I had some great pace. As we are P6, we make it through. Teammate in P12. I know I had some great pace, so I felt quite confident that with the setup change we did during Q1, I could definitely be on the front row at least. That's what I was aiming for. And now we arrive in Q2, where I start on a medium set of tires and starting our first flying lap here in the session. So let's see what we can do. I really wanted to start on this tire. My strategy was to do medium soft or medium soft. I wasn't quite sure what would be faster, and also depend on how worn the softs were, but we make it easily through on the medium tires. Actually only had to do that first lap, so that was quite easy. Only 5 people making it through mediums in the top 10, and to make the strat work we really have to start on the front row, so that is very crucial to do that here in Q3. And because of the massive cock-up in Q1, I used so many sets of softs that I only had 1 fresh set remaining. So I did a banker lap on an old set of softs that was about a second slower than a new pair. So I don't think that lap time was really worth watching, but that is why you can see a delta on the top right. And with just about 3.5 minutes remaining, we are going to start our final run here in Q3, and I'll just leave you on board with it. So we set a 35.5, just like we did in Q1 on that invalidated lap time, but I knew there was more time in it. So I did another lap, and as you can see, through this chicane here between the two straights, we gain about 2/10. We were 2/10 down coming into it, and we're about half a tenth down on the exit. So I knew there was more time, but unfortunately we end up invalidating the run when we were already down on our time anyways. So it wasn't too bad, but I know that there was more pace as we go into the pits, and there's a stranded McLaren there. I believe that is Ziki. But we are P2. We are on the front row of the grid together with Steffi Weffy Gamer, the person we are battling with for P3 in the championship. I am in third right now, and he has a 23-point gap to me behind, and he's in P6, so there's a lot of drivers in between. But Braver is starting all the way down at the back of the grid, and Mugs isn't here because of work. So pretty much it's only Steffi Weffy that will be able to compete with us for P3. Anyways, in between sessions we had not one but two restarts, so everyone has fresh tires, and that really plays into my hand because I wasted all of my softs. I wasted a set of mediums, so I only had one fresh set of mediums, but now all of the tires are fresh, so I can do either medium soft or medium soft. I was going to see during the race, but now we roll up onto the grid for those final 5 red lights this season. There they are, 5 red lights. And it's lights out, and away we go for a final time here this season around Abu Dhabi, and it's a good start, an even better start for Eagle. We're 3 wide going into turn 1. Eagle decides to back off. We stay on the inside, and Steffi Weffy, despite having the worst start out of the 3 of us, leads going into turns 2 and 3. But I was going to be right behind him, because despite the gap being 23 points between us, I really wanted to be ahead of him. And I knew I had some great pace around here, so I thought, let's just wing it. Let's go and deploy all of my ERS here on the 2 back straights and see where that gets us. So the first of the 2 back straights, deploying all the ERS. We are gaining on him, as you can see, not by quite as much as I've wanted to, but we are gaining nonetheless. So going into the chicane, I have a look, but we decide not to dive bomb him. We're not going to pull off Verstappen on Hamilton. Instead, we focus on the exit of this corner. I know there's a lot of time to gain just on this exit alone if you avoid the curbs. So we deploy all of our ERS. There we go. We are gaining, and we're going to make the move around the outside, going into this twisty section here. The Mercedes challenges us under braking, and we touch. He runs into the side of us. Ipswich Techers retires, and there's a virtual safety car, and we only just got ahead. But once again, as so many times this season, we have such an early virtual full safety car. As we go back to green flag racing, we try to extend the gap straight away to 1 second. That would be amazing, and it would be an absolute slap in the face for both the Mercedes drivers to extend the gap to 1 second straight away. So this lap we're going to try our hardest. We're going to deploy all of our ERS just to extend the gap to 1 second, so that when the DRS gets enabled, they don't have it on me. Anyways, on the end of the lap, we set the fastest lap of the race, and as you can see, the gap to Steffi Weffi is 1.3 seconds, and eventually Ego overtakes him. That is because Steffi Weffi actually has front wing damage from that collision when I overtook him. So that is very unfortunate for him, as Fruit Boy retires from the session. He's crashed out on the circuit, and that's going to bring out the full safety car. And we just missed the pit entry. So did Eagle, but as you can see, Steffi Weffi and Van Geysen both decide to go into the pits, and they are boxing for a fresh set of medium tires. And as you can see, I decide to box this lap as well. So at the end of that lap, we come into the pits and we're going to box for a set of medium tires as well, because I think, you know, they get pretty far into the race, and then around lap 18 to 20 you'll pit for a fresh set of softs. And with this safety car, I'd say that is the fastest strategy you can perform. So as we exit the pits here, it is only the Alfa Romeo of Gasly that gets ahead of us, and we are still in the net lead, and we're second on track because Gasly hasn't pitted yet. He's on an old set of medium tires that he started the race on, and he has a 5-second penalty he will have to serve in his next pit stop. But anyways, we are getting ready for a safety car restart here, and I want to overtake Gasly as soon as possible, and I'm really hoping that he will hold up, and I really hope Braver will do the same, because if I can extend that gap to about 3 seconds or so, that would be absolutely amazing, as Gasly has bolted it between the two final right-handers, and we aren't very close to him, and I decide to heat up the tires just a little bit more because they were very, very cold. Going into turn 1, we can't hook up the car as I would have liked to. That is just solely because of the cold tires, but now we chase after Gasly, and these fresh medium tires should be faster than his old mediums, and I'm really hoping I can overtake him this lap, and then we can extend the gap to Eagle. That would be absolutely amazing. So we're going to try the same thing as we did with Steffi Weffi. We're just going to deploy all of the ERS and see if we can overtake him on the 2 back straights here on this track. They provide some good overtaking opportunities, and I am going to take absolute advantage of that. So once again, we are not close enough to make a dive bomb, and we decide to heat up the tires just a little bit more, let him know that we're there, and we're going to focus on the exit. But Gasly has a horrendous exit. We have to brake more than I would have liked to, and we sail past on the exit there, and that was easy peasy lemon squeezy. We get the move done before we even get to any braking zone, and he can't challenge me going into the next one. So that is us up back into the lead. Despite we were already in the net lead, we now have the lead on track as well, and that is amazing. But as we come to the end of that same lap, Sheen has retired, and there's another safety car. We have had exactly 1 lap of green flag racing, and there's yet another safety car, and there's nothing going to happen as the safety car is called in already. No pit stops, no nothing. Gasly doesn't even pit. Eagle is still behind us, or behind him even. So now we are the ones with the safety car restart, and I was going to leave this very, very late, as Gasly was very close, and as you can see the red arrow there, so I was a little bit scared to weave all the way because I thought we might collide. And on the exit here I go very slow, and you can hear him, we touch, but there I go, I have a better exit than Gasly, so he won't be able to challenge me into turn 1, and now we can get back to green flag racing, hopefully for longer than just 1 lap this time. And I'm looking to extend the gap. It's only 3.5 tenths right now, but I want that to be bigger than 1 second once that DRS is available once again. I just want to drive away, have the most boring race of the season, and just win it. That's what I want, but that is probably easier said than done. So we're just going to have to extend the gap as much as I can and see where we end up. As long as I drive my best race, I'm happy with my performance, then I'm happy with the results as well. So we'll see what's going to happen. Right now we are extending the gap to Gasly up to 8.5 tenths. Hopefully after the chicane it will be a second. So let's see. Going through the chicane, you don't want to hit any of the bigger inside curbs. You can just take the edge of it, and as you can see the gap has extended by about 6 tenths just through that section. About 8 tenths now on the exit. So the gap is now way bigger than 1 second, and I am absolutely pleased with that. So as we move to lap 13 now, the DRS has been enabled after the safety car came in, and we have extended the gap to 3.5 seconds, and Eagle hasn't been able to overtake Gasly, so that is absolutely great. But now Braver Container has retired, and yet again the safety car is out. We had 3 laps of green flag racing this time, At least that is better than the 1 lap we got before the safety car. But yeah, it is unbelievable. This is now the 4th safety car in this race. And I was going crazy. It is too early to pit for softs. I can't pit for mediums because you have to use 2 different compounds. But here we are now on the safety car restart. Last time I went very late. And I assumed that Eagle thought I was going to do the exact same thing. So we're going to slow down here. Act like we did the previous time round. But we're going to bolt it very early, as you'll be able to see. Right now, we go straight away, and Eagle has just been left sleeping. The gap is already 8 tenths nearly, and that is one of the greatest restarts I've had in quite some time. And hopefully now we can have a peaceful race. With no more safety cars, I'll just pit for softs, extend the gap even further, and win this race. But no, Gasly, out of the session. Hopefully not a safety car, come on guys. It doesn't look like we're getting one. Luckily we're not getting one. No safety car this time round. When I saw that, I really thought, ah shit, here we go again. But luckily not this time. And we keep ahead, and we're trying to extend the gap to Eagle now up to over 1 second for when the DRS gets enabled. And hopefully we can just drive away with this win. But Eagle is very competitive. He isn't champion for no reason. So we're going to have to fight for this win. And as we move on to lap 17 now, Breezy retires. And you don't make this up, but once again, the safety car has come out, and now we are pitting for soft tires. So we get to the pits, we come into the pits, Eagle follows us, and we are pitting for a fresh set of softs. We haven't used softs in this race just yet. And let's see where we get out. We get just ahead of Stretch, who is yet to pit, but we don't get held up in the pits. That's very lucky. And as we exit the pits, it looks like we are going to be P5. And ahead of us are a few people that have pitted during the previous safety car. 3 of them on medium tires, and 1 of them who actually pitted for softs. And I reckon he won't make it to the end of the race. But anyways, the safety car's coming in at the end of this lap, lap 19. And hopefully now we can have some green flag racing till the end of the race. And hopefully we can get past these guys rather sooner than later. This time round, our tires are a bit hotter than before, so we can have a good restart. So here we go. It looks like we're going to be racing, but no, everyone broke again, and we have broken our front wing. We've overtaken the Alpine, but we have to give the position back, and we're blocking Eagle now. But I'm sorry to Eagle, but I had to give the position back, and we have wing damage, and this is a disastrous restart to the race here. It looked like Steffi Weffy decided to overtake the Alpha Tauri of Shane, who was leading the safety car restart. Everyone reacted to Steffi. I just reacted to the car ahead of me. I thought we all went out of the final corner. Shane was the only one that didn't and led the pack. And we had to brake. And because I was so reactive, because I was so close to the car ahead of me, I broke my front wing. And now we're going to have to box for a new front wing. And that is us outside of the points most likely. I tried to continue. I was going to feel this lap, see how it was going without a front wing. But in the final sector, it was just horrendous. Right here was quite alright, as you can see through the chicane. We keep up quite nicely, but the following few corners here, the next chicane type thing, it's going to be horrible. And there's going to be a lot of understeer, oversteer, whatever the fuck it is called. It is horrible. And yeah, I was so mad. I really was going to win this race, at least that's how it felt. I know I had the pace, I know I was leading, and these softs would have given me such a great advantage over the guys ahead, and I really felt like with my pace I could have challenged them for at least a podium and probably the win. But now it has all gone. I have to box this lap for a new front wing. Eagle goes round the outside. We pick up a warning for track limits to give him the space. And well, I was a bit heartbroken, I guess. I really had some high hopes near the end of this race because I was doing so well. I was leading most of the race, but now we're outside of the points. P11, Turbo Typhon, the only car behind us who also has to box. And coming out of the pits, look at the gap. It's 22 seconds, and despite I had some great pace, I'm never going to make 22 seconds within, what is that, 8 racing laps remaining now. So I was just aiming for the fastest lap. But as you can see here, on lap 25, 2 cars have crashed, and we're going to pass them both, getting us up into P9. And with Steffi Weffy winning this race, he was going to jump me for P3 in the championship. But right now with the fastest lap and P9, we have 2 points to our name. So we'll get equal points. But if you look on the top left, Steffi Gamer has retired from the session. And that is because he collided with an AI car and he's out of the race. So it doesn't matter anymore where we finish. We're going to stay on board for this final lap because it was my fastest lap of the race. But we are guaranteed a P3 in this championship. Braver Container out of the race. Steffi out of the race. Mogs never even attended the race. Those were the only 3 behind me that could challenge me for P3. So that is P3 confirmed. When I saw this, I was delighted. I was still mad about losing at least some solid points. Perhaps a podium or even a race win. But at least we're P3 in the championship, and with that I was very delighted. And at the end of the day, I guess I'm still happy that we managed to pull that off. But now I was just gunning it for this final lap. I really wanted to have the final lap, the fastest lap to my name, and get 5 solid points here today, despite finishing P8. That would be absolutely amazing. As we said, another purple sector. We miss a few apexes here and there as Eagle wins the race. We were ahead of him, remember? I could have easily won this race, in my opinion, you know. With the soft tires, I felt like I was quicker than him. Obviously, it would have been a great battle, but it just wasn't meant to be, apparently. So through the final sector, we miss another apex, but we are still going faster than we were before. It is not going to be a purple third sector, though. But it is still the fastest lap of the race. So as we come through the final corner here, it has been one hell of a season. It has been one hell of a race as well, and that is P3 in the championship. So guys, that is it. That is the season over, and this game over as well. This was the last race on this game, and now we are preparing for F1 22, which is going to release 2 days after this video is uploaded. Tomorrow there will be a season highlight video on the channel. It is going to be absolutely awesome, I can tell you that. And I just wanted to thank all of you for the support through this season. I really tried to keep up with the uploads despite halfway through the season not being quite as frequent as I wanted to be because of school. But yeah, thank you all for the support. I really hope you enjoyed this season and this video. If so, subscribe to the channel. There will be a career mode on F1 22. I will do a career mode also on the F1 Manager 2022 game, and it is going to be awesome. There's going to be more content, more frequent content, better content. It is going to be awesome. So guys, like the video if you're hyped for F1 22. Like the video if you enjoyed this season and enjoyed this video. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and I'll see you all for the next one. Bye bye.